Thank you for joining me today. I have a very quick book review. Matter of fact, this is my actual first review on this channel. And I've had this channel for 7 years now. And the whole point of the channel was to review books. And to help me with that, I thought I would ease myself into the process. I read tons of great books, and I always have the intentions to just jump on here and share my thoughts and great books. And for some reason, um, I wouldn't say it's procrastination because I think I've made several attempts. Either I would record a video and I wouldn't post it, or I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. However, this is a dawn of a new day. And the reason why it's a dawn of a new day is because I was so motivated to just get this message out. So, hi, welcome to the New Year Review. My name is Sharifa, and I'm a book reviewer, and I love reading great books. Um, I don't care what it is. My most favorite genre at this point in my life, because it changes over time. My favorite genre is reading biographies, memoirs, whether it's about a historical figure, a figure that's currently with us now, historical places, um, any historical events. And so it amazes me how much nonfiction is just an extension of like real life events. And so yeah, that's my current favorite genre. But I love reading across the board. Most of them. So let's get into this book review. So today I come to you with a very quick book review on this book that I read several years ago. And every now and then, it's one book that you will read that just has so many poignant facts that it's very simple, it's very quick, and it could make a difference in your life, right? And this book for me is Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. So I read this book several years ago. In an original copy, I got it from the library, and it was recommended to me by, I would say, an acquaintance at the time. And so she told me about the book, and she said, well, it's a really quick read and you'll like it. And immediately at that time, I did not get it. But one day I was looking for books under the subject heading motivationals. And this came up. And I just remembered that it was recommended to me, several years prior. So I went ahead and checked the book out. It was a very quick read. It was inspirational. It hits on a lot of things that we as humans are not mindful of sometimes. And that one thing is not evolving, right? So we sometimes get so fixed into the things that we like and think that that process is going to last forever, right? We get caught up in those sentimental endorphins that are hitting us at that moment, and we're like, you know what? I like this place. I want to stay in this place, and this is where I want to be. So, in reading this book, I later shared it with my son as a class read, and we sat down and we read it together. And so I actually had him do a book summary on this book, so he can hit out some finer points. But the book is about four individuals, two mice and two men. And so the two mice are, let me get the names right. I don't want to butcher up the name. The two mice, they are named Sniff. Let me see. Let's see. You think I will have these names? Okay. The two mice are named Sniff and Scurry. The two men, which are small humans, their names are Him and Ha. And there's some really good points in this book, but the book is mainly about them understanding survival and evolving when it's time to evolve. That's the gist of the story. No matter how many ways you try to, elaborate on it, it always comes to this, and you can tie that to a lot of our behaviors. So, Sniff and Scurry, who are the two mice, and then you have Him and Ha, who are the two humans. They live in this maze. So we're going to call the maze the world. This is their world. And so every morning they get up and they go to this particular location to get food. So it's this part in the maze where there's like mountains and mountains and mountains of cheese. And then as time go by, the mountains are getting smaller, they're disappearing, they're scattered. And then one day they go back to this maze and there's no cheese. So what would you do in that situation? So instead of saying, there has to be more to this, two of them continue to go back to the maze. And then the other two, they decide to, you know what, let's go and explore and see if there's other places where we can find cheese. Because right now it's a point of survival. And so the two who left are the two mice, Sniff and Scurry. And so they explore and they find this place where there's cheese. And then they realize there are other places there are cheese. And then they realize there's a whole abundance of things like this. This is a whole new world of cheese. Now, in the book, it doesn't talk about different types of cheese. It just said who moved my cheese. And the whole point of it is that, Him and Ha, who are the humans, instead of them saying, you know what, there's no cheese here, let's go somewhere else. It reminds me of just going to my refrigerator and I'm just looking for, like, say, for instance, cream for my coffee. And I've gotten better at this, trust me. But I go look for cream for my coffee and realize that there is no cream there. So that day, I will use my dry cream because I always keep dry cream just in case I'm out of my regular sweet cream. So instead of me saying, you know what, let me grab some cream while I'm out, because that's what I originally like when I drink my coffee in the morning, I get back home and I repeat the same thing the next day. I'll look in my refrigerator for cream. And it reminds me so much of my inability to say, you know what, just put this on this list and just go get the cream. Sometimes we go back to the same location, repeating the same thing over and over again, getting the same results, right? When in essence, we already know. You see the signs, right? There's no cream there. If you want cream, go get it while you're out. In essence, this story, Him and Ha, the humans, they keep going back to the same location every single morning where there is no cheese, and they're trying to figure out where happened to all the cheese. Where do we go and how do we survive? So it's a good book. It's a good lesson for anyone of any age to understand. And I'm going to give you some fine pointers in the books, not to try to give you. I think I gave you like maybe the gist of the story, but I still recommend that you read this book because it's a good lesson for everybody. Okay, so here's some things I like. The more important your cheese is to you, the more important you want to hold on to it. And so they will put it, the author, well, the editor, whoever who had edited the book, they will put, like these sayings in a block of cheese, which is right on the money. This book it's such a fun read and it's really quick. The next one, if you don't change, you'll become extinct. And in this case, you had two characters who are refusing to understand or evolve into an understanding that there's no cheese here. How are we going to survive if we don't have the means to survive? And so it shares that information with you in the book. And so it also says, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you do in life if you were not afraid of most challenges, that we have to step into? And the cream for my coffee is not that challenge, but I was using that as an example of knowing that what I have in front of me, I don't have what I need. I need to go get it, right? Or explore other options. Smell the cheese often so you know when it is getting old. And in life, that is such a perfect way for me to end this book review, because I don't want to give you the ending. The ending is really good and it's really smart. When do you know? And how do you go and get those things that you want? Right? And how will you know when it's time to go get those things that you want? But I just thought that this was always a smart book. It's one of the top business books. And it is a bestseller. Now, I originally got Match from the library. I eventually bought 2 copies, one for myself, one for my son, and he enjoyed reading it. So much so, he actually highlighted his book, in which he never does. And so, every now and then, I always look at some of my smaller books and just, I'll sit down and just take it in. And then I come to the understanding, this is why I like this book, and this is why I still have it in my library. It's worth a read, it's worth a discussion, and it's worth exploring. So I recommend this book, Who Moved My Cheese, once again, Spencer Johnson. And he also has other best-selling books. One is called The Minute Manager. That's what he was originally known for. And I did read it, but ironically, I don't like it as much as I like this one. I think this right here is a universal talking point to anybody who's open to understanding change. So I don't want to drag this interview along, but come back for more interviews and more discussions on great books. And so hopefully you'll go out and get this one and read it. And more importantly, if you want to, add it to your library. So until next time, bye-bye.